I stream a variety of different horror games on Twitch. It got me thinking about why do people enjoy horror games? Same thing with horror movies. And there are different types of horror games, right? You have the jump scare types. You have this psychological horror, this feeling that like somebody's watching you or something bad is going to happen. In some games, you have a way to defend yourself against something, and in other games, you can't defend yourself and you're basically forced to run or hide. But I always think to myself, like, I personally don't really enjoy jump scare type games. I don't like the fast heart rate, the anxiety inducing aspect of getting jump scared. But some people really like it. I would assume a very obvious reason, or at least the reason that I first went to, was that they enjoy the adrenaline rush. As I was talking to my friend about this, he sent me an article. If you want to look it up for yourself, it's called Speaking of Psychology, Morbid Curiosity. And they mentioned too that the adrenaline boost, the people who like to experience really high or really strong sensations enjoy certain types of horror games like jump scares. But based on some studies they found, this actually only represents a small part of the horror community. And I'm just going to quote the article on this because they really say it best. Why are they there? Playing horror games, watching horror movies, if they're genuinely afraid and don't necessarily love the adrenaline rush for the adrenaline rush's sake. What we found was a lot of people feel as if they learned something about themselves, sort of develop as a person through these experiences. So you hear about this in real tragedies a lot, a kind of post-traumatic growth, or I'm glad I went through this so that because I learned something and I grew as a person. And it seems like different kinds of scary plays, such as even just watching a horror movie, or even if you're a small child playing hide and seek or playing scary imaginative games, these can help you feel out of the limits of your fear and what you're able to handle. They, in many cases, can give you sort of self-confidence that you can overcome things that feel scary. And I reflect personally on why I think jump scare games especially are just not my cup of tea, and I think it's that feel of I've lost control or I can't control what's going on. They also go on to talk about people that really enjoy true crime. Like, why do they listen to these things or watch these things when they're home alone? It's kind of like feeding into that underlying fear. But there is an educational aspect to it, right? File of knowledge in the back of your mind, which in turn feels very rewarding. There is an online morbid curiosity test that you can do. Let me know if you've done it and what your score is. I believe it is out of 5. I'll put my score on the screen after I take it. So there are people that find pleasure in morbid curiosity, even though everyone is very different and kind of has their limits on what they like to consume. People really like the feeling of being able to challenge themselves and then get rewarded for it. And finally, the article leaves off talking more about morbid curiosity, how they hope there's more studies in it, and how dreaming and nightmares become this early form of morbid curiosity in humans, even from a very young age.